The Knights are in form, and here they are to kick things off in Perth. Game 2 on Super Saturday. It's Ponga who makes the catch off the kickoff, and Jacob Saifiti brings it forward on the very first carry. Crossland has been tremendous in the dummy half role, filling in for Jaden Brayley pretty much all season as young big winger who leads the NRL try scorers list with 20 coming into today's game. The Dolphins have plenty of try scorers themselves, including Tabuai Fido and also Jermaine Osako. It's Frizzell who will play it just short of the halfway line. Saifiti, a second carry in this opening set. Nice involvement from him early on, and Tyson Gamble puts it in the air, looking into the sun as he stands there at the moment. Tessie knew, awkward catch to be made there, but he makes a good one and will play it there 20 out from the Dolphins line.
Well, that's a great first set there from the Newcastle Knights. You can just see how confident they are. They rolled up, as you mentioned, Saifiti, a couple of touches, Young involved, and they just marched through the middle there. Good yardage, got to their kick. Now we see the Dolphins the first time with the football.
Oh, it's Nichols who's found himself in the starting side for a number of weeks now as he play at 10 short of the halfway line, partnered by Jesse Bromwich. And here is Bromwich tipping it on through O'Sullivan across to Lemuelu. Taken down at the halfway line, and the Knights a little bit of the meters here in this opening set for the Dolphins. The kick from Isaiah Katoa. He's missed the last 2 games as far as starting appearances was concerned. Didn't play at all against the Bulldogs last week. Marju threatens to bust the chasers there on the kick return. Katoa into the starting side with Milford again, as he did last week in Bundaberg, to come off the bench. Had a handy roll midway through that second half, especially Anthony Milford, to get the Dolphins back into the game against the Bulldogs. See how long he waits, Wayne Bennett, today before Milford hits the deck here. Here is Thompson. Brings it back towards the halfway line. 2 plays remaining in this second set for the Knights. Gamble, Ponga, quick hands. Knocked on by Young, put under pressure there by Dane Gagai. That was a tough one to handle.
Yeah, I think he crowded Gagai there. Young was just up a little bit too flat. They tried to go through the hands. There's the first error. We know one thing about the Dolphins. They'll get up and in your face and they'll have a dig. Fast-moving defensive line. Young just up in the line there. Should have had a little bit more depth there. The Dolphins with the football on the attack straight away here.
Just outside the 30 as Marshall King finds Katoa on this right-hand side. Kafusi backs it inside the red zone. Plenty of tackles here, and a real chance early on for the Dolphins. Goes through Katoa to O'Sullivan. Nikarima in the headgear, playing in the centres today. The hammer taken down by Gamble and also Gagai. From New comes back to Nikarima. O'Sullivan is there. Kenny Bromwich, a look forward roll today. The play for Marshall King. Goes to Nikarima this time. Tabuai Fido gives it on to Tessie New, who loses it. Was it ripped out? No, says the referee. And it will be the Knights who have it from deep inside their own territory.
Yeah, they had to scramble a little bit that time, the Newcastle Knights. It was Gagai that come up, was bounced out of the tackle by Tabuai Fido. Had to come again and make that tackle. It's good to see when he goes searching for the ball too. The fullback for the Dolphins.
Just fabulous conditions in Perth, and on the sideline is Jake Duke.
Good evening, gentlemen. A great day here in Perth. The NRL competition back in the Golden West for the first time since 2018, and a great turnout here today, expecting around 45,000 here at this wonderful Optus Stadium. And I have to say, a lot of Dolphins fans in the house. They've embraced the Dolphins side or the home side here today. As for the pitch, as you mentioned, it is hard, it is fast, it is dry, lends itself to some electric footy from these 4 teams that we're going to see over the next couple of hours.
Especially for the man who just kicked the ball, Kalen Ponga. His speed on this fast surface would be a factor, you would think, today. Likewise, Tabuai Fido's had a couple of touches in attack to this point for no result for the Dolphins. Valtafaro working it forward. What a battle it is. 2 superstar number 1s. Ponga, Tabuai Fido going head to head. And beyond that, of course, we'll see Latrell Mitchell in action for the Rabbitohs in game number 2. Connor Tracy, the fullback for the Sharks. It was such an important game for them coming up tonight. You'll see it here live on Fox League as Jesse Bromwich works it down within 30 of the Knights line. O'Sullivan is there. Nichols pushing up on the inside. They grub her instead. Here's the hammer, trying to tip it on. He had Tessie New pushing up on his outside, just couldn't get it going backwards to him.
Well, what about the way that he exploded onto the ball there? The grubber kicking behind. Watch Tabuai Fido just take off. Look at the speed, gets on the outside. Didn't know whether he would have been better off trying to take that ball. It would have been hard to stop that close to the line, try to tap it on. That's a second error there from the Dolphins.
An early penalty here. Well, Adam O'Brien in our pre-game show, talking to Vonnie and the boys, said he's expecting a Dolphins ambush, and they've come with plenty early on, but haven't banked any points to this stage. And now Gamble, off the back of the penalty, finds some good meters. Knights downfield, perhaps their best chance so far in the game to put some pressure on the Dolphins after Newcastle have absorbed some inside their own 20. Here's Elliott, finds Hastings. Fitzgibbon was there, but the halfback hangs on to it. Bromwich was downstairs. It'll be a slow play the ball. Plenty of attention there from Marshall King. Elliott now. Gamble. Quick hands. Good hands. This time from Gagai. Young taken down. Only just. It was Tabuai Fido who was across there on the left-hand side to make the tackle. A juggle from Gamble. Goes back to Hastings. He kicks early. Out wide. Marju hugging the sideline. He thinks it's play on. Did he get a touch? Did he knock it on? Or is this points for the Knights?
Yeah, well, they're just both going for the football there. They got no try. Obviously saying Marju has knocked on into one of the Dolphins players here. Both go for the grab. Has the ball come off Marju's shoulder there? It's definitely touched by the wing three-quarter. Azako coming across.
After being hit back from the Dolphins, it touches the finger of Greg Marzu, which is a knock-on.
Ooh.
We have a decision.
Geez, they've dodged a bullet there. First time they've been really down the other end. It was a great tackle on the other side by Tabuai Fido. I think they might have swapped too. It looks like.
They have Nikorima is playing
fullback
in the fullback role, which he did, of course, for 3 games between rounds 18 and 20. And Tabuai Fido returned from origin duty. And Wayne Bennett trying to plug a hole in the centres. They were leaking points at an alarming rate defensively, and he used Tabuai Fido in the centres, mostly for his defence. There he is again on that left-hand side with Nikorima playing in the fullback role for the moment. That might be a fluid state, though. We'll see if that does change during the course of the game. So a near miss for the Knights. The Dolphins work it back into Newcastle territory. Katoa. Here is the fullback, Nikorima, coming across to Isako under pressure there. Dumps it back on the inside. Nikorima does well. He beats Ponga to the ball. And the Dolphins, midway through this set, a chance to ask a couple of questions here at the back end. Nichols it is. Plays it for Marshall King. Katoa. At the back to Nikorima, had to catch and pass. He couldn't do it and get the ball backwards in the one motion.
Yeah, Marju made the decision to come in off his wing there and put the pressure on the extra man coming in. Nikorima. Here's some strong defence there by Best just a little bit earlier. Nikorima had to rush his pass there. Marju.
20 seconds.
Good defence, cracked him too. Took him a while to get to his feet.
So again inside their own 20, the Knights hang on. It's all the Dolphins as far as the real attacking chances so far in this game through the opening 9 minutes or thereabouts. As the crowd continues to build here at Optus Stadium in Perth. It's somewhere around 45 to maybe 50,000 fans. And a double header here this afternoon as Young Play it here just outside the 20. Slow play the ball again. Trio of Dolphins defenders on top of him. Saifiti takes it beyond the 30. Good carry there and a quick play the ball. Gives Gamble some room to go at the Dolphins. O'Sullivan in trouble there, backpedaling. Kenny Bromwich helped out. Now the Knights are moving. Elliott, Hastings, short ball for Fitzgibbon. Hastings back to Bradman Best, looks for support. He had Marju, took him a while to find him, and that might have ruined the chance for Newcastle.
Oh, gee, that was a good bit of open football there again. Hastings involved with a beautiful pass on the outside. Marju just loses the football. Tafare just returns the ball with 20 metres. Here's the offload. Fitzgibbon, he's brilliant at it, being able to stand in tackles. Best trying to find his outside man there. And there's the drop. Both sides have been a little bit sloppy early in this game. Some real bad handling errors.
Had Best found Marju earlier, like his chances of running away and scoring the opening points. Instead, it's Kenny Bromwich shuffling his way towards the Knights defensive line. Marshall King find Jesse Bromwich now. Play Mark Hopp as he comes towards the Knights. Quickest play the ball as well. Katoa puts it in the air. Out wide, Asako trying to get to Marju to put him under pressure. Marju does well though. Can't escape the clutches of Felice Kafusi. And the Knights again to work it away from inside their own 10. Very much a Dolphins style opening to this game. Just putting kicks in, making the Knights work it away from inside their own 10. If they can't come away with points, they make you earn your yards early on.
Yeah, they've done it really well to start this game, haven't they? It's been the Newcastle Knights coming off their own line. Kafusi and co really tight in the middle. Try and crunch the ball and make it come free.
Ponga, tip on again. Gagai, that combination for Young. Look at the speed. Too much for O'Sullivan. Back to Kalen Ponga. What play by the Knights. He wants to score underneath the posts, and he does. It was beautiful to watch.
Well, you know what I like about that, Warren, is they just stay persistent there. They've come away with a couple of errors trying to do those tap-on plays early in the game. They've just stuck at it. They obviously think they can get the overlap here. They can. Great strides out there by Young. They can't make the tackle, and Ponga come from nowhere. If they get 45,000 people there watching this bloke in action, that is sensational stuff. They've done it for the bulk of the season, the last 5 games anyway. Ponga's back. What about him striding out? Little goose step. Katoa can't make the tackle. Ponga scores under the posts.
NRL's leading try scorer can run as well, can't he? Dominic Young, too much speed there for Sean O'Sullivan. And talking about runners, this bloke's as good as anybody in the NRL. And he was determined to beat Isaiah Katoa and plant it down right underneath the black dot to make sure it's a 6-point try, not just a 4-point try.
You know, it's great about those long-range sort of tries too. They've got some wonderful athletes in their side. We spoke about the outside backs. There's a conversion. Their outside backs have got speed to burn. There's an example of it.
They came unstuck with an attempt to try and burn the Dolphins on the edge first time around, but the last 2 occasions have been tremendous between Gagai and Young. And that one, well, it couldn't have been any crisper. The passing between Dane Gagai and Dominic Young. And Wayne Bennett, in our pre-game show, the wily old coach, the super coach that he is, he knew this was coming. He said to our crew in the studio that they are going to try and burn us on the edges and use their speed, and he's foretold the future. And there they are, getting them on the edges. He said they won't try and get us through the middle. It'll be out wide. They'll try and use Young and Marju and Ponga. And that's exactly what Newcastle have done. No surprises for Wayne Bennett. I'd like the scoreline to be different here, though. It's the Knights 6 who lead the Dolphins 0, and Crossland from dummy half will find Dominic Young. See if the pattern continues. Well, they take a couple of carries here, then give it some air once again. Elliott comes across here to Thompson. No Daniel Saifiti, of course, who's out with a quad muscle injury. Hastings showing it. Short ball for Fitzgibbon. Good meters here for the Knights. Already back in Dolphins territory on just 4 plays. Crossing the dummy half will find Hastings thinking, let's get the green button, go on the attack again. Saifidi will play it. Crossland finds Gamble. Frizzell pushing through. Underneath it there is Nicarima, makes a catch before the chasers can get there. Not enough hang time on the kick there from Tyson Gamble. Otherwise, Frizzell and company might have been a chance to come up with the ball. Instead, it's the Dolphins who'll have it here just inside their own 40. W.I. Fido through the middle of the field, going to Isaiah Katoa. Still just 19 years of age. There's the 5'8", out to Farre. Wayne Bennett also spoke about his power running, but said he's still pretty raw. The rugby union player still coming to terms with rugby league, of course, in the NRL, but what a first up season he has had. O'Sullivan, the kick, goes down to Ponga. He's got Young back there. Why wouldn't you use him as big as Dom Young is? Stopped by the Bromwich Brothers Incorporated, and the Knights begin here just outside their 20.
Yeah, gee, he brings the ball back well, doesn't he? I'll tell you what, you've got to try and kick away from Ponga. Try and find the grass. Can't afford to kick to him on the full. They just eat up the yardage so quickly. Get their sets off to a good start. There's a penalty. Just hanging on just a little bit too long, trying to slow them down a little bit. It's evident now the speed of the game from the Newcastle Knights of their play the ball. The Dolphins trying to slow them down and give away a penalty. They'll be straight away on the attack again now.
Gamble finds touch here. They'll begin just outside the 30. Knights with 9 wins, 1 draw, and 9 losses, as we said off the top. Win here in this game moves them inside the top 8. That would be remarkable given where they were not that long ago. They've gone from 14th to 9th. He's run of 4 straight wins over the past month. Crossland waiting here. It's Hastings. He's got Ponga out the back. Hastings, though, hanging on to it. Kenny Bromwich not falling for a dummy. Likewise, Nichols. 3 plays gone. Crossland goes to Elliott. Short ball there for Thompson. Good tackle by Lemuelu. Quick play the ball, though. Here's Elliott once again. Nobody pushing up on this left-hand side. They didn't expect him to come back out. He's standing there, offloads, does well. Adam Elliott comes back to Saifidi. Knights with 1 more here. And it's Gamble. Waiting wide, Grubbers. Frizzell pushing through. Nicarima there does well. Had to come up with possession cleanly with Frizzell on his hammer. And the fullback comes up with it. Now it's the Dolphins' turn to work it away from inside their 10.
You've got to be on point because Frizzell, he'll chase it 100 miles an hour. Nicarima got across there nicely. He evaded him too, just about to try and pull him into the in-goal area. Just starting to slow down a little bit defensively, the Dolphins. A lot of players for the Knights been able to stand in tackles.
And the Knights with plenty of possession. After the Dolphins had the early chances, 59% of the ball to this point of the game. The kick goes down to Ponga, and again, they utilise Dominic Young, who takes on W.I. Fido, and then might have surprised Dane Gagai, who wasn't expecting that pass under pressure as he was. They bring it back to Ponga, though, in the middle of the field. O'Brien in the build-up to this game was talking about how the continuity and being able to put the same team on the field week after week during this run is a big reason why their form has improved as dramatically as it has. So they've got some rhythm as a result. They've got belief suddenly as well. They've taken down some big scalps over their past couple of wins, haven't they? A kick here. Young pushing through. He's still there. Taps it back on the inside. Tessie New dives on it, though, for the Dolphins, but a half a chance there developing for Newcastle.
Well, it's so dangerous, as I was mentioning a little bit before. Finding the grass really puts the pressure on. Players trying to come back and come across the field and clean the ball up. Just the bounce of the footy. It's a good change now. Jared Wallace on. He'll add that little bit of experience through the middle. Got the ability to stand and offload. Something happens around him.
He was impressive off the bench last week against the Bulldogs. A lot through the middle. Here he is immediately. Provides an offload. Marshall King. He's a real specialist, knowing when to go from dummy half. Haven't seen him do that as yet. Waiting for his moment as Katoa puts it in the air. Marju is the target once again. It comes off his head. Tafare, though, was in front of the kicker and obviously inside the 10. But what about this for a falcon from Greg Marju?
It's a nice little gauge, knowing that you can put the ball on his chest there and he might come away with an error. Just got caught offside that time. Tafare. A lot of pressure too on Katoa. Taking over the kicking here for the Dolphins. The Knights will start their set on the 40-metre line.
And it's Fitzgibbon. He brings it back here. 3-zip. There's the penalties to the Knights. They've had 20 minutes of action in Perth. And that's by a converted try. And what a try it was.
Lock in.
Saifidi will play it for Crossland. Gamble. Frizzell cutting back on the inside. Runs into a posse of Dolphins defenders there. Wallace underneath. Nichols over the top. Gamble. Hastings. Close hand. Gets in behind them. Tafare came up pretty quickly. Hastings thought there might have been a call against the Knights had he gone on with things for an obstruction. So he died on the run. Ponga. Play number 4 finds Gamble. Frizzell. Gagai. Young looming up in support again on his outside. This time Gagai hangs on to it. The Knights with one more. Gamble will kick. Out wide a chance. Bradman Best is there flying high. He comes down with it. He might be pushing for a gig with the Eagles or maybe the Dockers with a mark like this. Yeah. What a take.
That was a beauty. He jumped from a long way out too. Unfortunately, they were off. They all fell off him. He was able to get up and go again. And Nicarima coming away with a try saver.
That was a classic AFL mark. Knees in the back, getting a little bit of extra height as well. Timed it magnificently. No doubt the locals impressed by that. So Sullivan plays it here for the Dolphins. Marshall King. Here comes back to Herman SASA. The change made by Wayne Bennett. Still working it back to all the way to the 40. Good metres there for the replacement forward, O'Sullivan. Tabuai Fido there. They're at red alert, aren't they, every time he gets the ball. Plenty of numbers in front of him again on that right edge for the Knights. Kenny Bromwich goes inside the 40. Marshall King back to the short side. They stack some numbers here. O'Sullivan kicking. Ponga there, though. He was shading that side of the field. He had eyes on the number 7. Realised the kick was going to come down that short side. Here's Young. Striding back towards the middle, but ankle tapped. There by the Dolphins chasers as Marju, the bodybuilder. He takes a carry and brings it back beyond the 20. Ponga into dummy half. It's ominous when he's there early in the tackle count, pushing up into dummy half, looking for a chance if there's an offload from a forward. We play the ball here from Gagai. Gamble with nobody at marker is going. He had Frizzell and also Saifiti there. Another quick play of the ball. Kenny Bromwich left clutching his head. Gamble puts it up. And again looking into the sun. Tessie New makes a good catch. We've been testing him out while he's looking into the sun in this first half as Nicarima shapes for a big pass but hangs on to it. And the Bunnies are in the house. And Braden Hamlin Welly there as well. That's next. The Rabbitohs and the Sharks in what is a huge game for both teams given their positions on the ladder. We have got time off here.
He's got a terrible cut on his head here, Adam Elliott. I was just about to give him a rap too. He's been a good link man for Newcastle Knights.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's not a bad gash.
Well, it's Asako who brought it forward. The gash, I think, had already happened before that, somewhere earlier in the set. And the referee seeing that, boy, that'll take quite a few stitches, won't it?
Yeah, just wondering if he might have caught his elbow on the way through there. Elliott, he didn't want to come out. He's saying he's all right. Didn't want to come off. You got to go and get that looked at, son.
We'll wait and see how Adam Elliott fares. the HIA as well. Now, Lachlan Fitzgibbon.
Tackle's been reviewed. It's a hip drop.
It's going to be a hip drop and 10 in the sin bin. Just not as good as a wink from the referee there.
2 players off in the one go, in the one tackle. Elliott hanging on here. Fitzgibbon comes in to draw in the tackle.
Twists his lower body to come down on the back of the ankle there on Jermaine Asako. So Fitzgibbon goes to the sin bin, and the Knights down to 12. It's a very casual sin binning from Grant Atkins, wasn't it, the referee?
Yeah.
Just a nod and put 10 up, saying you could go for a rest. Here's Marshall King. SASA back on the inside. We'll see if the Dolphins can make some hay here. Well, they've got a chance against this short-staffed Knights defensive line. O'Sullivan, Nicarima, flat pass there for Tafare. That Croker is out there, joining both Hastings and also Bradman Best in trying to make the tackle. 3 gone. The one-man advantage. It's O'Sullivan, Wallace, flat pass again, SASA. Good tackle by Gamble. Under huge pressure there. Nicarima goes to Wallace, pops it out the back. Nicarima again. Staying alive though defensively was Croker. He wraps him up. This is the last for the Dolphins. O'Sullivan goes over the top. Marju falls over and Asako plants it down. They get them inside the 20. First chance they get against 12 men.
Yeah, Asako gets the try in the end, but it's been Jared Wallace since he's been on the field. They haven't been able to put him on the ground. He's got 3 offloads from 3 take-ups of the ball. There's a slip over from Marju. Best can't make up any ground there. Asako scores. It didn't take long. Get the extra man. Pass over the top there from O'Sullivan. And there's the try. There's the hit back. It's only been a couple of minutes since Fitzgibbon has been sent to the sin bin. They make him pay. Good play there from the Dolphins.
Out of the middle of the Knights defensive line. There's some space on the edge, and then when Marju slipped over, that certainly made it an easy passage for this man, who is one of the leading try scorers in the NRL in 2023. Chance to try and level here. And still with plenty of time. They've scored so quickly beyond Fitzgibbon being sent to the sin bin. They've got minutes up their sleeve here, while the Knights will be down to 12. Leads the point scorers in 2023 does this man Jermaine Asako. He strikes them so nicely, getting it just around about 3 out of 4 on average so far this year. Difficult one for the right footer from the right touchline to begin with. But he hits it well, bending back. Too much bend, in fact. It will stay a 2-point lead. The Knights over the Dolphins here in Perth, 6 points to 4.
A great ball from Sean O'Sullivan, looking to bounce back last week. We know he was taken off the field by Wayne Bennett in that loss to the Bulldogs. Only came back on because of an injury to Ewan Aitken. He throws a peach of a pass there to Jermaine Asako, who can't stop scoring tries for the Dolphins in 2023. That's 17 tries in 20 games now. He gets the Dolphins back in this one on what is an absolutely peach of a day at Optus Stadium. Look at that. Rugby league back in the Golden West. How good is it?
Oh, it is tremendous, Jake. Always said Perth and Western Australia has the weather that Queensland thinks it has. This is the place where it's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Oh, gee, we might get some calls about that,
We may well
Queenslanders.
Do. Boy, I've seen a couple of storms in Perth, but not many over the years. And it invariably looks like it does today. It's part of the world. The Dolphins and the Knights certainly enjoying things. Warm conditions. Firm, fast surface to play on. Great football as well, really using the ball. And the Knights, it's been a great try to get things going. The Dolphins hitting back. They had this one-man advantage, and here they come again. Nicarima into the backfield, runs towards Ponga. Asako, a chance for a double, and he gets it. What hands again to blow the Knights apart down this right-hand side as the Dolphins look at things. Nicarima free striding in the fullback role, linking with Asako, who has a double in the space of 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was good play there down that side. You can put it down to Katoa too. It was a beautiful pass to Nicarima. But have a look at this for a fend here on Best. Asako had to stretch back to catch the ball. That's a hard man to do that to. Just pushed away from him. There's Katoa, the second man play. Nicarima throws the dummy and off he goes. He's got wonderful pace. Ponga didn't know who to go for. Best comes at Asako. Look at that for a fend, right in the middle of the chest, right in the heart. Asako is in again.
Something of a dagger to the heart for the Knights. 2 tries. Since Lachlan Fitzgibbon went to the sin bin in the 24th minute. 60 seconds later, this man scores. And then 2 minutes after that, he scores again.
And I wonder if he's learned off the first kick too. He just pushed that one away to the left. The first kick. I wonder if he's learned, got his radar on here. It's nearly in exactly the same spot.
This one as well will bend away wildly to the left-hand side. The 2 tries have the Dolphins in front. He's not happy with his goal kicking. He's loving the chances he's getting on this right-hand side. O'Sullivan the long ball for the first one. Marju falling over the lush turf at Optus Stadium. And then again, Nicarima. His hands out the back to him. He's got so much speed. And Asako, big fend into Bradman Best right in the chest. He was loving it here in WA. 8 points to 6, the Dolphins over the Knights, and still a lot of time remaining before Fitzgibbon rejoins the action.
Yeah, they made him pay too. If you think about it, Adam Elliott's off getting a cut stitched up. Fitzgibbon off the field, so it's really affected their left-hand side defensively. And that's exactly where they went there that time, the Dolphins.
Best part of 5 minutes before Fitzgibbon returns from the sin bin. The Dolphins, here they are again, going to the right-hand side, looking for a 3rd try in the space of 3 possessions. Marshall King waits for Katoa to play the ball. It's Esa who runs to Croker, and also Hetherington, who's also out there now. Another change made by Adam O'Brien. Knights looking for some resolve defensively here. 1 man short as they are. Wallace at the 40. Good leaders again for the Dolphins. Katoa, an attacking kick here. Asako looking to come through and put pressure on Marju. Didn't quite get there in time. Marju makes the catch after putting one down earlier. And the Dolphins have had almost 3/4 of the ball in the last 10 minutes.
You just wonder how conservative now, a man down. They just try and complete their sets and get to their kick. They can't afford to make a mistake and give the Dolphins the football back. Interesting to see how they play out this set.
It's the first time the Knights have touched the ball since Fitzgibbon went to the sin bins. Young thrashing around and earns his team a penalty. That's massive for his team. They need some time with the ball here to take possession away from the Dolphins while they're down to 12. And he refused to be stopped there. In the end, draws the penalty. Use up some time on the clock. Give them a chance here to come down and put a bit of pressure on the Dolphins.
Well, sometimes you just got to let go. Because Dom Young just kept trying to move forward. Sutherland, it was there that just hung on too long. And I just want the ball in hand now, the Newcastle Knights, before they see the sin bin player come back on.
Hetherington with the carry. Playing for Crossland. Mr. Gamble. Hastings is there. Ponga was out the back. They go first man, though, to Frizzell. Josh Kerr on field now for the Dolphins. Here to make the tackle with O'Sullivan. It's Hastings. Comes across the field. Gamble, best. Pass goes behind Marju and into touch. A wasted chance there. chance to, as we said, use up some time on the clock, especially they give it back to the Dolphins early in the set.
Sometimes you just got to tuck the ball under your arm. You got to realise what the situation of the game is. You're a man down. Can't try and throw those miracle passes. Turn the ball over. Good field position now for the Dolphins.
Well, came with a plan in mind, Newcastle, and they're sticking to it. Use that width to perceive speed advantages on the edges. They've had success already, but here they are again. Tabuai playing it back in a defensive mode, and Kerr popping it out the back. Marshall King was there and ready. Wallace shows it. 1 on 3 almost there again. A 3-man tackle. Midway through the set, Marshall King for Katoa goes out the back. Nikarima to Tafare, steps on the inside there of Best. Etherington helps out. Now Katoa stops, starts, pass, bounces up beautifully for Tabuai Fido. Beats Gagai. Comes again. This is the last play. O'Sullivan kicking across the face of the uprights. Asako coming through. Oh my goodness! What a catch! What a try! What a hat trick by Jermaine Isako.
Well, sometimes blokes are just too good for you in the air. Marju, you couldn't blame him there. Asako with the hat trick. Just watch the way that he chases it, how hard. Just attempts there to catch the football on the full. That's unbelievable. There's nothing he can do there. Great take, great try, pretty to watch.
Well, not all heroes wear capes, Blocker.
It's unbelievable.
He must be wearing an invisible cape, though. Look at him fly through the air, juggle, grab it, and plant it down inside the dead ball line.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. Sarko, 3 tries, and that's his best one so far. That's unbelievable. 19 tries for the season, scoring at will. A hat-trick in the first half.
A hat-trick in the time Lachlan Fitzgibbon has been off the field in the sin bin.
And he defends on that side too, so clever play from the Dolphins.
He's back and waiting for the restart here. And looks like Jermaine Asako might have sacked himself as far as the goal kicking is concerned. And Sean O'Sullivan has the ball in hand.
He's probably tired from doing all that running and scoring.
He's waiting for a kicking tee, I think. Adam Elliott, after that nasty gash on the right-hand side, surely some stitches there to close that wound, and then some tape to protect it as well. Marju, well, as you said, not a lot he could do there. No chance for a running start as opposed to Asako, who came through at speed, juggles, grabs it. It's beautiful to watch. And 3 tries, a hat-trick in the space of around about 7 minutes. We finally have a kicking tee. We've had to go back to the dressing rooms to find one. Obviously, O'Sullivan uses a different one to what Jermaine Asako does, and given Asako's efforts from out wide, probably a good idea to change the kicking tee, just to mix things up as much as anything.
A little bit easier this kick, this conversion. Asako's, the ones that he's missed have been from the sideline. Anyway, it's not a give me. It is for the left footer, but he's good side.
He's only kicked twice as far as attempts in his NRL career, but he is 2 from 2. And you can make it 3 from 3, but only just.
Oh, that looked ugly off the move.
That wasn't convincing. There's a smile on the face of Sean O'Sullivan off the back of it, but they have an 8-point lead. He provided the kick, and the heroics once again came from Jermaine Isako. One of the grabs of the season, and his second first half hat-trick so far this year as well. Back in round 6, he scored 3 in the first half against the North Queensland Cowboys. They would win that game 32-22, so perhaps an omen right there for the Dolphins. Nicarima off the restart. Crazy game this has been to this point. Knights jump out 6-0. Elliott still waiting with the all clear to return to the playing field. Lachlan Fitzgibbon with a hip drop goes for 10. The Dolphins score 3 tries, all of them to Jermaine Asako. We're back at least for the moment. 13-13. Is there a mistake here? Yes, there is.
It's a terrible play, the ball there from Josh Kerr. I wouldn't be challenging that. You didn't even get your foot on the ball.
Okay.
Just want to convince those around him that it might be worth challenging. Here he is. Wasn't helped there by the knee of the Knight. It was, in fact, Lachlan Fitzgibbon who's just returned to the playing field. He might have got a bit of gamesmanship on there and got his team a result. If they can hit back, 5 out from half-time. This first half has flown by. So much action to enjoy here on Fox League. It's Bradman Best who'll play it. 30 out. Croker working it forward. Beyond full time. Second game of a doubleheader for this huge crowd in the Golden West. Rabbitohs against the Sharks. No looker there from Gamble. Frizzell takes it inside the red zone. They're fanned out to the left-hand side. Croker for Hastings. First man to Fitzgibbon. 4 Dolphins get there to make sure he hits the deck. And the Knights have 2 plays remaining. Set, restart, make it 6 tackles here. Kurt Mann jumps out of dummy half and plants it down. Just like that, the Knights hit back.
Gee, you always got to be alive at marker. Kurt Mann, gee, that was so simple that he scored that try. They'll get the Knights right back in it. The conversion to come 14-10. Didn't work hard enough at marker. A little bit of footwork on Kafusi. Made him tackle him around his hips and just dive over. Just got caught flat-footed. Didn't chase hard enough from marker. This will tell you the story. A little bit of footwork. Kafusi caught out. Didn't even have to use the fend. Nicarima can't make the tackle. Just like that on the repeat set, Mann scores.
It'll be disappointing for the Dolphins given what they've just done while the Knights were down to 12 and they conceded a try pretty meekly on their own line from dummy half. That hasn't happened a lot in 2023 despite their 8 wins and 11 loss record and their troubles in recent times of going back to the middle of the season when they won just 2 of their last 9. The Knights hit back. Kalen Ponga. A difficult kick here to try and drag this back to a 2-point game with 3 left in this opening half. He swings it back off the inside of the upright and in. And they've hit back 2 converted tries to the Knights. The Dolphins with 3 straight tries and inside the dressing room, the jersey of a superstar of the NRL, Trell Mitchell, in action. Back in Perth, he's been there of course before with New South Wales, a big win for the Blues over the Maroons at this venue at Origin level. Cody Walker. They've been good in recent times. We saw them of course just last week up at Tamworth. Blocker, too good for the Tigers there. A bit scrappy with the ball at times and not firing on all cylinders. And it's time to really hit the go button for them in this push towards the finals, while the Sharks, their opponents, they are looking for something just to spark their campaign once again. It'll be a beauty beyond this one as the Knights work it away. Croker takes it to almost the 40-metre line here. Good opening to this set. Off the back of points, Elliott on the angle, comes towards O'Sullivan, and also Lemuelu. As Mann was taken over from Crossland as they go to Gamble. Frizzell at the back. Ponga just couldn't hang on to it. They try their luck again down that right edge. Why wouldn't they, given the success they've had to this point of the game? Frizzell limp there. awkward landing as he went down in the tackle, and then Ponga just couldn't find the handle.
Yeah, Tessie knew it was that made that tackle on Ponga, but he's been dangerous this afternoon. Frizzell, he's in rare form, as good as I've seen him. He's been real involved, number of hit-ups, back on the inside, very dangerous. He poked his nose through. That time he got the offload, Ponga couldn't control the catch.
And the Dolphins, and here is the man of the moment. Sako playing it, just about makes a break there off the scrum win midfield, and then Kafusi keeps the roll going. In 2 plays, they're down within 30 of the Knights line. Marshall King to O'Sullivan. Shows it, takes them on himself though. And they're set either side of the field. Wallace. Katoa out the back. Here's to Farre, fends away from Marju. But the Knights had a lot of defence on this left edge. Good anticipation from them. 4 plays gone for the Dolphins. Asako swings it back to Katoa. Finds O'Sullivan. Nikarima, fullback, goes to the man wearing the 1 but playing in the centres in Hamiso Tabuai Fido. And they've had 5 plays already. Tessie New feeds it back to O'Sullivan, but they kick again for Asako. Why not? Here he comes again, this time not enough weight or height on the kick. Asako didn't get it. Best beat him to it, but they'll force him back and get themselves a goal line dropout.
Yeah, that's good defence. Tafare on Best. You don't see many blokes do that. Push him back in the in goal. That was a good take by Best. Just landed on his feet, and here comes the troops. Tafare put that down to a big play there from him. Forces a line dropout. Still enough time. Will they have a dig here in the last 15 seconds? Short dropout will it be? No.
Well, it goes deep. They'll get 1 play, and O'Sullivan from 39 metres. He was thinking about the 2-pointer. It was only going to be 1, and he kicked it, but it goes well wide. So at half-time, it's the Dolphins who came from 6 points down early on to score 3 tries in the space of 8 minutes, and all of them scored by that man, Jermaine Asako. Scored in the set after Lachlan Fitzgibbon had been sent to the sin bin for a hip drop. Long ball from O'Sullivan. Marju falls over, and Asako gets number 1. Short side Ray. Katoa out the back to Nikarima. Show and go into the backfield. Draws Ponga. Asako a fend on Best. He has number 2, and then as quick as he could blink, O'Sullivan a kick, and in the home of AFL, flying through to take a specky, Asako grabs a hat-trick. Spectacular stuff live here on Fox League. What a half of rugby league we have seen. How glorious is this? It's Western Australia, Perth in fact, on the banks of the Swan River. We're at the stadium where the Knights are taking on the Dolphins. We get underway for the second half, and a kick up against the sideline, taken there by Connolly Lemuelu off the boot of Kalen Ponga. With his team trailing by 2 points, makes a big mistake to get the second half underway. Good effort in the end by Lemuelu.
Yeah, well, plenty of twists and turns in the first half. I don't think we're going to see anything different if that's the start of the second half. Ponga would be very disappointed with that. Look at the face. Can't believe that he's kicked that out on the full. Straight away on the charge now, the Titans. They'll be in a good attacking area. That ball's gone off the side of the boot. They've only made 10 metres from that kick.
3 tries to 2 in the opening 40 minutes in favour of the Dolphins, hence their 2-point lead. Warren Smith along with Steve Blocker-Roach and Jake Duke bringing you all the action of this one before we head to the Sharks and the Rabbitohs here also in Perth. Second game of a big doubleheader live on Fox League. Kerr to play it. Marshall King comes through the middle. Wallace, Katoa. Bypasses to Farre, finds Nikarima, who's playing in the fullback role today. He's been there for 3 games in recent weeks, and now high contact is the call.
Claim a high tackle and take off.
And the Dolphins,
Hold up.
15 metres out, will get Jansen right in front. Can't imagine they're thinking about 2 points to make this a 4-point lead. Surely they would tap it here early and have a full set from close range to try and put some pressure.
Someone's got to make a decision
on
here.
The Knights, there's a couple of players putting up 2 fingers, and in fact they will take the 2, a very much Wayne Bennett tactic.
Yeah. Tyson Frizzell's been put on report too for that high shot. It's taken them an age to decide what they do. Finally, they're going to take the 2. Sarko comes up. It's an ordinary start in the second half there from the Newcastle Knights. First the kick out in the full, and then the high shot, the high tackle. Going to give a rap to Nicarima too. Gee, he's been electric from the fullback position. Been great for the Dolphins here. Here's the high shot there. There's nothing really in it. Just got him high, the arm over the top. It wasn't swinging. Gives away the penalty on report, Tyson Frizzell.
Don't think he'll have too much to worry about that as far as the match review committee is concerned. So the call from the bench was we'll take the 2 for the Dolphins, and it pushes them out to a 16-12 lead as we go downstairs for a halftime report from Jake Duke.
Good start to the second half for the Dolphins. Their coach Wayne Bennett just wants them to simplify things in this second half. Too many errors down their own end in that first 40 minutes, wants better control of the football. Adam O'Brien, the Knights coach, he had a similar message, all about discipline, not happy with completions, wants them applying more pressure to this Dolphins side. It's a cracking second half, boys, 4 points in it. What a game we've got on our hands.
A couple of nervous coaches watching on. Thanks for that, Jake, as the Dolphins will grab it here through O'Sullivan. And it's Kerr to bring it forward. He loves that 2 points, does Wayne Bennett, invariably takes it. Came back to bite him, though, in 2015, the grand final against the Cowboys, coaching the Broncos. Took the 2 early in the second half to lead by 4 points.
That's right.
Lost the game in Golden Point. We'll see what happens here today. Admittedly, 8 years ago. History, though, sometimes does repeat. Marshall King. It's a bit of a grand final for the Dolphins. 8 wins, 11 losses. Probably need to win all of their remaining 5 games. Starting right here in Perth against the Knights. They're back inside the 40. Marshall King. For Katoa to put it high in the air to the Knights play at this. Marju is there. It touched him. Comes back to the Dolphins, who get another set of 6.
Well, gee, there's indecision there. Marju, he hasn't had a great afternoon under the high ball. Didn't even go for it that time. Just skimmed him on the way down. The Dolphins on the attack again. You can't afford to get any side in the NRL this much leeway to start the second half.
Marshall King jumping out of dummy half. Was close to busting them there. He's 5 metres out from Bromwich. Goes to Nicarima on the inside for Lemuelu. There's a right foot step on as he comes towards Adam Elliott. Nasty gash repaired. And is out there for this beginning to the second half. Slow play the ball here with Gamble caught on the turf. Kenny Bromwich, O'Sullivan for Kafusi out the back. There was a real issue there for the Knights on that left edge. Marshall King tries to go there now, gets caught from dummy half though. They were sweating on him. They know he loves to go from close range, and he's resented something here in the tackle. Watch Marju again. Well, he wasn't going to get anywhere near it. In the end, he wasn't even really looking at the ball. I think he thought the Dolphins were going to catch it and he was going to make a tackle. In the end, his blushes were saved with his teammates helping him to deny the Dolphins with a full set.
Well, he's got to get back. He's got to get back on track and attack the football. You can't afford to be in 2 minds when you're in that position. Been under the pump so far in this game. Good signs for the Dolphins too. Marshall King didn't run in the first half. In that set, a couple of runs there.
Here's Kurt Mann weaving his way in behind them. Kafusi stops him. Legs tackle though, nobody there at marker, so Gamble links up with Fitzgibbon on the run around. Gamble keeps going. Those 2 to Fare and Marshall King. And the Knights have one more play. Hastings with the bomb. Nicarima standing underneath it. Trouble to make a catch. And the foot there extended just in case. Needs to be careful there in a real contest. As Asako shows it, we had one of the more spectacular 10-minute periods for any player we've seen so far this year. If you missed the first half action, Lachlan Fitzgibbon was sin-binned and Asako scored a hat-trick in the time that he was off the field. 3 tries, about 7.5 minutes by our stopwatch. It was quite remarkable. Marshall King down the short side, that forward to Sean O'Sullivan. No call there from the sideline official. So now comes back to Katoa. He'll kick out toward Marju again. Why wouldn't you kick towards him? This time he comes across. Looked a worried man in flight there. And then with his strength, once he does catch them, he's a handful. We know that. But catching them has been an issue so far today.
He's got that great ability to break tackles, hasn't he? He runs so strong. If you don't go in at 100%, he'll bounce out of your tackle.
Man on, man on.
Best will play it. 5 into Dolphins territory. Man to Hastings. Elliott just takes the meters available there and straightens things up. And Croker tipping it on for Gamble. Ponga, Gagai. Combination Ponga and Gagai and Dominic Young. One of a great try to open the scoring here today. One more here. Comes back to Gamble, who will kick across. Asako coming in, makes the catch, and then beats 2 Knights defenders. Still going. In the end, it was Hastings getting back there who made the tackle. What a return from Asako.
What an athlete, and wins the penalty too. Ponga just held on a little bit too long. They were going to get on a roll there. What a kick return there. 30 metres upfield, footwork, speed, strength. Bounces out of a couple of tackles. It's left to Ponga to make the tackle over the top there. Hastings underneath, but just held on. Gives away the penalty.
Adam Elliott down there, the first man to make contact with Asako. I think he was caught between trying to get to the ball to make a contest of it or keeping a straight line in the end. He had his time over. He would have taken the second option and just made a pretty simple tackle in conjunction with Croker. Instead, it's the Dolphins. Through to Fare, playing it. Kafusi goes inside the 30 here. Croker is there around the legs. Hetherington over the top. Added 2 points since the break. O'Sullivan. Here's Lemuelu, almost down Main Street. Step past Ponga, taken down eventually by Frizzell and Elliott. Marshall King, short ball. Kenny Bromwich, good defence by Croker. Quick play the ball. Wallace out the back. Katoa to Tafare. They've caught them out. Val, I think for a moment, is going to pass to one more. He was already in the end goal.
Well, I reckon he had a look too. Asako said, no, mate, you score. I think he wanted to give him 4 there. I think he can put it down with a quick play the ball to Kenny Bromwich there. They caught it for numbers. Straight away, the quick play the ball looked like he was going to score. Marshall King, the second man play, catch and pass. Marju caught in field. It's Katoa that gave that last pass to Tafare. Well set up, well orchestrated there. Yeah, you want it? Nah.
A good thing he didn't pass, no matter what the result, because Wayne Bennett might have made a trip down to the sideline himself to say that will never, ever happen again, Val. The young man goes in. The rookie at 22 years of age, 6th try in the NRL, grabbed the double on debut. Famous night at Suncorp Stadium, no less. And here they are 10 minutes into this second half, leading by 8 points. It's a handy buffer with a kick to come.
Well, how good's he going to be too, with another off-season under his belt? He's been excellent for them this season. He hasn't used him every week, but when he has, it's been a power pack. He didn't have to break any tackles that time. They just got the overlap. Marzu coming off his wing. Catch and pass. Katoa. He's been good this afternoon.
The quick play the balls in the middle of the field. Certainly drew plenty of Knights defenders in. There was acres of space on that right-hand side. Sullivan snuck one in with his first attempt after Jermaine Asako sacked himself. He went 0 for 2 with his goal kicking. Sullivan bends it back and he remains perfect in the NRL as a goal kicker. He is 4 from 4. That's a big lead now. 10 points to the good are the Dolphins at 22 points to 12.
Wayne Bennett spoke about it pre-game, the resilience of this Dolphins side and what they've tried to build in their first season. It doesn't matter that their finals hopes are very unlikely. He wanted to see them turn up and put in a performance, and they certainly are over here in Perth. And so is that man, Big Val Tavares, having a great season, and he scored a great try last week against the Dogs. He won't get many easier than that. That's his 6th try in 10 games, building a great first season here in the NRL, and his work rate continues to go up week on week as he gets used to the rigours of NRL football.
He certainly has been an asset, an unexpected asset for Wayne Bennett in this first season for the Dolphins as an expansion team. We saw Anthony Milford there for a moment back on the bench, who was very good coming off the bench last week against the Bulldogs, and now a mistake by Lemuelu. I wonder at what stage does Milford get a chance. Maybe he rides the pine for the entire 80 minutes if the Dolphins maintain this handy buffer.
Yeah, just trying to back his way in here. Loses a ball on the way down. That's the first error, really, of the second half. They've been gifted field position by the Newcastle Knights straight away to start the second half with a kick out on the full. Then there are a couple of repeat sets. Newcastle have got to strike back soon.
Just a mix-up there from the scrum win. A great pass to Kalen Ponga, who did well not to knock it on. Just outside the 20, Hastings goes to Croker. Success on the edges. And now Elliott puts them in motion once again. Gamble with a no-look for Frizzell. Nothing doing, though, the Dolphins. Good defence, although they give away first a restart, then a penalty as Frizzell was taken to ground. He's still a bit proppy on that leg from earlier on. Always helps away a penalty, and it will be placed on report, says Grant Atkins.
I thought it was just late. What's it placed on report for?
Not matter for the moment as Elliott takes it forward. 10 out in front of the uprights. Man goes to Hastings. Frizzell is there as the decoy. Mix things up on the edges with that play throughout the game. Another set restart here for being inside the 10. Dolphins riding their luck. Their end of the field. Man playing it, Gamble. Goes to Hastings. Takes them on himself. Gets through the tackle and scores underneath the post. A simple miss in the front line. Hastings takes them on. He drags the Knights back into this contest.
Now, he must be pretty strong. I mentioned in the first half he was able a few times to stand in tackles and get quick play the balls away. This time, the first time really that he decides to run. It's Kenny Bromwich that misses the tackle, the legs tackle there. Hastings strong enough just to skip out of it. It's a poor miss. Take it back to the penalty that they gave away only seconds ago. You shouldn't be able to score that close to the line of halfback. Bromwich just looked out the back just for a second. Can't make the tackle. Hastings can't believe his luck.
Well, can't remember Kenny Bromwich missing a tackle like that, as simply as that, inside his own 20 at any stage of his NRL career. And this is game number 235 this afternoon in Perth. From right in front, Ponga converts once again. It's a close one in the Golden West. The Dolphins 22, the Knights 18. We've got plenty of time here still to come. Of course, tickets for the NRL, both the NRL and NRLW, they are the grand final. They are on sale now. It'll be an occasion to remember. Two great games to watch, of course. The 1st of October. Maybe the Rabbitohs, if they can keep things going. The great Jason Clark in attendance. The dressing room there as well, sitting alongside Damien Cook. You can go to NRL.com/tickets right now and make sure you're all there for the big deciders. Accor Stadium. Oh, Tyson Gamble gets clean bowled. If only the Aussie attack could have done that at Trent Bridge or the Oval or Headingley.
Gee, it's been so embarrassing to start the second half here from the Newcastle Knights. lot of concentration errors, really. That one, as you mentioned, clean bowl. Just stayed down low, just went straight between his legs. Just keep offering the Dolphins field position to get right back in over here. They lead 22 points to 18. And they're on a roll.
WI Fido comes down with the catch. Off the short one from Kalen Ponga. Josh Kerr. Back of the mid-season switch from the Dragons. Playing it just outside the 10. Bromwich goes to Milford, who is on deck, and with his first touch, puts it down and lets the Knights off the hook.
It wasn't the greatest of passes to get here. To just come on, just behind him a little bit. Just hope he doesn't hang his head now, Milford. We saw how good he was last week when he got a couple of tries. When he come on, get that out of his mind now.
Give you a chance to second guess the great Wayne Bennett. Would you have made the change? Katoa, we thought, have been playing a very impressive game. Milford goes out there and with his first attempt puts it down. I know the Knights had just scored to close the gap to only 4, but would you have made that change?
Yeah, I think he was playing pretty good. They put the pressure on him, his kicking, and mate, he was a man that perfectly timed last pass to put the try on for Tafare. So the answer is probably no.
Interestingly, after the game last week when they were beaten by a point by the Bulldogs, as the Knights work it away, Saifidi is back on deck. Wayne Bennett was asked about that change when he brought Milford on. He said it was just a gut feel. Nothing more than that. There was no plan. He said it was just instinct that he put him on. It worked. On that occasion, as they came back from one way behind to put pressure on the Bulldogs. Wait and see how it turns out here today. Isako with the catch. The Dolphins to begin just outside their own 20. Milford is there. And the dummy half roll. Here's Tessie New, who comes in for a carry. It's Nikarima, who goes to dummy half. Tafaro back almost at the 40. Marshall King comes across to Kafusi, dispenses with Hastings. Good bump there from the edge forward. Used up 4 plays. Milford down the short side. Tafare is there. Tackle by Fitzgibbon was a legs tackle. Had to be a good one as well. And now Milford. Hastings was there putting pressure on him. Ponga will make the catch. Doesn't have to leave the ground. Poor chase by the Dolphins against a player of Kalen Ponga's calibre especially.
Yeah, you got to present a line to Kalen Ponga, and most of the fullbacks in the NRL, you go up one out like that, their footwork can beat you. It's a good start to the set there from Kalen Ponga.
Here's a spread, as they've done a number of times from inside their own territory. Frizzell. There's WI Fido on the ground, back behind the play. Looks at the neck as he gets back into the defensive line. Gagai fending away. Brings it back inside the 40. Out the right touchline though. Gamble for Hastings. Big shift here. Fitzgibbon into space. Gives it to Ponga. What a fend on Marshall King. Crossland. Crossland will score. Tremendous hands. Back to the left-hand side by the Knights. The Dolphins were short-staffed, it seemed. There was space, and the Knights pour through some holes.
Yeah, that's their 37th try down that left-hand side. As I mentioned before the game, that's their preferred side. Beautiful play. Fitzgibbon needed to pay back his teammates for the 10 minutes of the sin bin. Ponga does it easy. But Crossland, what a find he's been for Newcastle Knights. Got the speed just to finish that play off. Great fend from Ponga. Crossland gets the football and away he goes. Back-to-back tries for the Knights.
Well, it was Val Tafare who came out of the line and tried to solve a problem all on his own. He gave them a chance when Fitzgibbon was able to get back in behind him. Ponga loomed up, and then when he found Crossland, there was nobody in front of the Newcastle number 9. We've had 60 minutes of action, and it's 22 apiece.
It was well done by Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Just the one-on-one tackle, able to stand in the tackle and offload the football. And Ponga's the man you want to get the ball to. He exploded. Good support play there by Crossland. 22 all with the kick to come. Back-to-back tries to the Knights.
midway through this second half to put them back in front. Kalen Ponga. It's 4 tries apiece. And that kick there is the difference at the moment. The Knights go back to back. Tries to Hastings in the 53rd minute. Crossland in the 59th. And watch it again as Tafare came up. He got fresh air. And then Ponga, what a fend to get away from Marshall King. And then offload back on the inside to Crossland. A special piece of play in backing up the initial work by Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Crossland grabs the 4, converted. It's 24-22, and on the live ladder with the Knights back in front, they skip in front of both the Rabbitohs, the Sharks, and also the Cowboys, who went down early today at home to the Broncos.
Destiny's in their own hand now, isn't it? Going for their 5th win in a row here. The Newcastle Knights, you would think that they'll go on with it here, but they never give in the Dolphins. It's been the quality of their season so far, first time in the NRL. They'll fight right to the end.
Crossland. Gamble, then Frizzell, big fend there. More metres through the middle of the Dolphins forward pack. Here's Hastings. Fitzgibbon. 40 out on the Dolphins line. Ponga chipping in behind them, coming across. Nikarima makes the catch. Away from Ponga, who thrust out the left arm awkwardly. Needed to be careful there as Val Tafare. He winds up. It's a gain of about 10 for his team. And we've got a thriller to finish with here. But the pass from Milford was flat there. Back on the inside for Tessie New. No more than flat, said the officials. SA. They're back within range of the halfway line. Back end of the sets is O'Sullivan. Oh, very flat on this left-hand side. They're looking for a kick. O'Sullivan gave WI Fido a bit of a serve there, saying, why weren't you back ready for a pass? There was no kick coming there. Now there's a kick. Asako flying again. What another grab. Gives it off to Tafare, but they will wrap him up. Boy, Jermaine Asako has hands of glue.
Hold here.
He certainly has, and he always competing for the ball. What about the Knights run home? Dogs, Rabbits and the Sharks at home. They finish away with the Dragons away, so they're putting themselves in a good position here to make the final 8. Got to win tonight.
There is the run home. As you mentioned, the Dogs, the Rabbitohs and the Sharks, 2 massive games there, and then they finish with the Dragons. 3 games in a row beyond this one at home in Newcastle. That could be pivotal if they can get the job done here. It's a long time to go before we reach full time in game 1 of the doubleheader in Perth. Hastings kicking, trying to find the turf, and will. Awkward bounce. Fitzgibbon had a chance. It came away from him. Nikarima, he shovels it dead. It looks to be a knock-on by Fitzgibbon.
No try, mate.
Well, he was all but over, wasn't he, in the in-goal area, Fitzgibbon.
And then obviously
The ball
Browning in the
just lost it on the way down. Beautifully weighted kick there from Jackson Hastings. And the bounce favoured the Newcastle Knights. Does Nikarima get a hand on the ball here or a strip on the way down? Yes, he does. Ball goes back.
Well, I would say that's just a knock-on, a loose carry there from Fitzgibbon.
From Lachlan Fitzgibbon.
That's just a loose carry there. No strip.
Lachlan Fitzgibbon takes possession of the ball. Cody Nikarima is just attempting to make a tackle. It's a loose carry from Lachlan Fitzgibbon in the field of play. We have a decision.
Bunker on the same page as us.
It's going to be a play the
And it
ball
will
out
be
here,
a knock-on by
Knights.
that man, who spent 10 minutes in the sin bin in the first half. And while he was missing, Jermaine Osako grabbed a hat-trick.
It's a knock-on Knights.
Latrell Mitchell in the dressing room warming up. He was good against the Tigers last week. He was all smiles and enjoying his time in Tamworth. We'll see how he fares in Perth. Huge game for both clubs in these battle for positions at the bottom of the top 8. Sharks and the Rabbitohs are right there neck and neck. The winner will be feeling pretty good about things, especially the Sharks, if they can break this losing streak. Blocker, they've been in awful form. Of course, they're missing Will Kennedy today. Real blow for them with that hamstring strain. Connor Tracy in the fullback role. We'll see how he fares. Does he stay there for the entire game? Does Nico Hines spend some time at fullback potentially? All will be revealed.
Well, Tyson Frizzell come reeling out of that tackle there. I reckon they'll have a look at that for a HIA. Like a bit of a head clash there.
The Knights defending this 2-point lead as Nichols plays it to some Bromwich. SASA. Knights are back in reading form defensively after being all at sea when they were down to 12 men. Dolphins with one more. And it's Milford who puts it up. Regulation bomb, end over end. Marju makes the catch. There's pressure on him, you better believe, given the balls he's put down already this afternoon. Ponga jumping out, testing them there. Legs tackle from Kafusi. Dominic Young comes in the next carry. Put the brakes on as he got to the defensive line. Was bumped backwards. As a result, here's Brodie Jones. 25-year-old brings it back to almost the halfway line. 2 plays remaining in this set. Crossland for Elliott. Tackle around the legs by SASA. And they'll go left for Hastings. There's some loft this time. Sarko coming forward though. He's not going to put one down here today. Not in these conditions. Not much breeze to speak of in the stadium itself. The form he's in. It's been one of the tries of the season. Bring up his hat trick. A marvellous catch. Lemuelu with a carry. Bit of an arm wrestle here for the last 5 minutes or so. The game's been played for the most part between the 20s at either end. There was that chance, of course, of an awful bounce from Cody Nikorima a moment ago, but Fitzgibbon couldn't hang on to it. Dolphins just searching for a chance. A repeat set here at some stage. Go inside the 20. Bafare. On the far side of the field, just outside the 30. We're playing for Osaka. Goes from Nikorima, then to Milford. Puts up the bomb. One play early, standing underneath it. Gamble eventually says, I'll make the catch. For a moment there, it wasn't obvious who was going to put their hand up there for the Knights. Gamble makes a good grab, and Dominic Young takes it beyond the 20.
Yeah, it's a good run there from Young, and you know you're on too when Ponga gets into dummy half and starts the run.
Gagai goes straight past everybody except Cody Nikorima. Makes a try-saving tackle at the back. Quick play the ball. Ponga skipping to the outside. Got away from Tafare. Milford is there to stop him going any further. 4 tackles gone. Jones holds it to pass, hangs on to it, just works it towards the uprights. Here's the last for the Knights. Goes back to Hastings, who chips it in behind. Asako leaves the ground from the field of play, makes the catch. They've got him a couple of metres out from the Dolphins line.
Gee, maybe they're just trying to nullify his running game by putting up those sort of bombs up the short side. There's some good collision there. Hastings trying to make a statement. Tafare slow to play the football there.
Nichols with a run. Reminder that on 6:30 Monday nights, the only show to watch is NRL 360. Braithen Astor, Gordon Tallis, Buzz Rothfield, Brent Reed, debating all the big issues, and we'll check in with Broncos coach Kevin Walters as well this Monday night. The kick isn't a deep one from the Dolphins. Gagai fielding it just inside his own 40 as Ponga just goes his way back in behind everybody. Milford coming across, he saves the try. Did it so easily there, Ponga. He was only in third gear. Now Gagai, who made the bust a moment ago, staying alive here, grabbed by Nichols. Maybe the Dolphins low on petrol tickets at the moment. Elliott goes to the line, tries to get away from Marshall King. The Knights could grab 6 points here. It would make it tough for the Dolphins. Crossland for Hastings. They're deep His right edge, Frizzell runs a long way before he's grabbed there by Katoa. He takes Tabuai Fido all the way into the in goal. And it's the centre who stops him from scoring a try.
Gee, they're just lucky to hang on there. Frizzell just exploded, just forced his way over. Tabuai Fido just underneath, 3 in the tackle there. They're just hanging on here, the Dolphins.
2 plays left. Gamble looking out the back, taking them on himself. No real show, but there was a bit of go until he was stopped by SASA. Here's the last. Hastings grubbering. It's a good one. Nikarima does very well, though. Takes it in stride, keeps it in the field of play as we go downstairs to you, Jake.
Bit of a concern for the Knights, guys. Jacob Saifidi has gone up the tunnel. I've been told he has a low-grade hamstring injury. He won't be back today, but that obviously is one to monitor in the coming days, especially with his brother Daniel still out with a quad injury for a couple of weeks. So the Knights middles taking a little bit of a hit.
Absolutely, that could be consequential for the homestand coming up. 3 games in a row. The Knights take on the Dogs, the Bunnies and the Sharks in succession. SASA playing it. The Dolphins remain behind by just 2. And they scored at the death last week at the Salter Oval in Bundaberg against the Bulldogs to give us a thriller. We might have something similar in mind today as we approach the 10-minute mark remaining.
Yeah, they've got that great ability. The Dolphins are hanging in. They've made 3 or 4 clean line breaks to the Knights. They just can't put them away. Adam Elliott, great effort after that bad cut in the first half. He's Gagai again.
What a second half he's had. Just bouncing off defenders there once more. Fabulous meters and impact he's had. Hastings, that pass there for Fitzgibbon again. He's outside. They came up quickly to Farah. He was off. He was going out the back and they tried to get him again. Ponga in behind them. There was interference there on Bradman Best. It won't matter. Marju scores. He plants it down and the Knights extend the lead.
It's been an unbelievable performance here in the last 10 minutes by Ponga and also Gagai. They've really split them open. As I mentioned, they just keep hanging in there, the Dolphins. This time they find a way. Explosive speed, footwork. Best looked like he got held back. Marju, once he gets the footy that close to the line, they can't stop him. Ponga has been absolutely outstanding. And the Knights almost home.
Well, the Dolphins have had their issues in the centres defensively a big portion of the season, especially since the halfway point of the season. And they doubled up on Val Tafare there, who came screaming up out of the line on the previous play to give the Knights that roll on and a quick play the ball. They went straight back down the short side again, knowing they were struggling getting back defensively. While Best was grabbed, it was going to be a penalty at worst for the Knights. It would be a professional foul given they're in a scoring situation, but Marju had the poise. Been a tough afternoon for him, and Blake Green there, maybe a pat on the back saying just as much. Put it all behind you. Grabbed a big try here, and now what a huge kick this is for Kalen Ponga, who can push it out to an 8-point lead with 8 on the clock.
Well, isn't it amazing when you need your best players to come to the fore? Looks like Newcastle are going to win 5 in a row here. Ponga, unbelievable second half. After he kicked the ball out in the full to start the second half, he's been outstanding.
Bending it back, bending it back. It's a terrific kick. Flags up for a smiling Kalen Ponga. He's helped his team blocker in this second half come from a fair way back. At one point, when the Dolphins scored through to Farah, it was 22 points to 12. But after that, it's been all the Newcastle Knights. Will it be all the Rabbitohs or the Sharks in our next game? That's not too far away. Second game of a doubleheader here in Perth. The Sharks, they need to find a way. Bust out of the doldrums. They can make a statement that they're back as a contender in 2023 if they can take down the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, we've seen an unbelievable fullback performance here this evening in the first game. I reckon he might explode after a game under his belt. Latrell Mitchell in the next game.
The captain's challenge.
Another challenge here on the penalty.
Dane.
Blown by Grant
Captain's
Atkins.
challenge.
For some
Penalty for
obstruction.
an escort against Dane Gagai.
As one of the Dolphins' chasers was escorted away from the contest, says the referee.
Well, it hasn't really disappointed this game. We were expecting with some explosive runners in the
Looking
game.
at the run of Dane Gagai here. He only has eyes for the man and plays the man only with no intention to get in the contest. The challenge is unsuccessful.
The ball's caught. It's penalty. No more challenges. Penalty stands.
You couldn't see the eyes of Dane Gagai right there, and he was maybe a metre from where the catch was made. To mine, he was going in the direction of the ball. And I guess the bunker had different angles to take a look at his eyes to see where he actually was looking, but they were confident he was there only as an escort. So the Dolphins get the chance. Trail by 8. 7.5 left in this game as Marshall King goes to Milford. A bit of magic from Anthony Milford. Tabuai Fido's been given the green light to go wherever he wants to go. Here he is on the right edge. Goes to Nicarima. All hands too for the Dolphins. Essa hurdling his way into the tackle there of Gamble. They've used up 3 plays. Marshall King showing it. Frizzell not falling for a dummy. Neither was Thompson. On top of the line, Wallace from dummy half.
Knew he'd do that.
He loves a dip from dummy half. The ball comes free, and it was helped out by Kalen Ponga.
It's inside 10. No, stop. It's over here.
Back-to-back penalties. The back of points given away by the Knights. Here's Milford. He'll find Kafusi. Try here for the Dolphins to really set up a grandstand finish. Marshall King looking left. He goes to Jesse Bromwich. Essa saw some space. Gagai was jamming in. Marshall King again has a dip from dummy half. Just can't contain himself from that range. Jesse Bromwich fires a wild ball there. Milford did well. Nicarima is out the back. Best was able to drop off Valentafare. He was up there just in case it went to the Bullocking centre. He goes to dummy half. 2 plays left in this set. Milford. He finds Katoa. Lemuelu into space. He plants it down, and we do have a grandstand finish.
Oh, how good's this going to be? Lemuelu. We've seen his footwork a little bit earlier in the season and in the game here this evening. But this was a great take. Just over his shoulder. Did well to hang on to this. They go to the line. The front man gets hit. They can't make the tackle. And the grandstand finish. They were heartbroken last week after their loss to the Dogs. The no-look pass. Look at that. Great gap running. And Muelu gets the try.
See if the bunker confirms this quickly, or whether they take a look at the contact that took Tyson Frizzell down. He was, as they say, checking and releasing and heading out towards where the ball was going. It was a Dolphin who came through and might have made contact with Frizzell's legs to take him down. We'll wait and see if the bunker is happy with everything they've seen. Wasting no time. Jermaine Asako was back in charge of the goal kicking, it would seem, still waiting for the all clear from the referee, and the bunker has in fact now confirmed the try. They're happy with the contact.
Wow, what a finish we've got. 5.5 to go. Asako converts. Here we go.
It's a high-scoring game, as you would expect, on a firm, fast surface. Perfect conditions for rugby league in Perth. And Connolly Lemuelu with his 7th try of the season. Makes it a 2-point game. The Knights 30, the Dolphins 28. And Adam O'Brien might need some Gaviscon, some Mylanta, some antacid tablets of some nature.
Some quickies.
Just to top it right off. He might need some oxygen. The way things have panned out the back end of this game. Knights their own worst enemy, though, in the lead up to that try. The escort penalty off the kick-off. And then Ponga strips the ball away on top of his own line. Dolphins eventually score. And here we are, and Jesse Bromwich running a long way here in these tackles off the restart. Just inside 5 minutes left. It's Kafusi. 3 involved in the tackle. They take him down. 3 plays. They put it back to pretty much the halfway line. Great meters here, and Wallace keeps the trend going. What a set of 6 this is. Power effort. Fading towards the back end of the game, the Dolphins. That possession gave them all the impetus they need. Marshall King comes to Milford. He'll put up an attacking kick. Asako coming through on Marju, who goes to the air. They stop him a couple of meters out from the Knights line, and now the pressure on Newcastle not to make a mistake. Marju, he's got a cramp in the calf muscle. He left the ground to make the catch. He's in trouble, isn't he? Jar and knee, perhaps? Or was it the calf muscle just cramping up? Let's hope it is nothing more than that. Oh, the ball coming free here. The Knights through Bradman Best have made a crucial mistake.
He's saying he got the ball raked out. Have they got a challenge left here? No challenge. I'll just play on now.
They challenged and lost the call off the restart. Led to the Dolphins scoring, of course, when the Gagai escort penalty was blown. So their challenge is gone, and now they have to try and defend the mistake made by Bradman Best. 3 minutes remaining. The Dolphins season quite literally riding on what happens here in these next 3 minutes. And then Gamble comes up with a tackle, which was too high, was it? He says no. Mistake made by Nicarima. And now the Dolphins want a challenge.
Got a captain's challenge against the penalty against Herman SASA for holding Leo Thompson in the scrum after it breaks.
So penalty back at the scrum for SASA, holding Thompson in and unable to release. Watch it here. He grabs him by the jersey. Firstly the sleeve and then the collar.
To defend. Herman SASA keeps holding his jersey post the break call. Challenge is unsuccessful.
Challenge unsuccessful. No more challenges.
Can you believe that? Because Gamble, with his right arm swinging around, makes contact with the head there of Nicarima, and that could have quite easily been a penalty.
There's a reason he did it, Jesse.
And the Dolphins, with a kick, could have levelled things at 30 apiece. Instead, Wayne Bennett says, I've seen enough. He can't believe that either SASA has done that or the penalty has been blown.
Yeah, geez. It's a funny end of the game of footy here. There was no way he was going to get across to make the tackle anyway, Thompson. But I know you're not allowed to hold him in a scrum, but I thought it was for a high shot.
So did I.
Penalty.
When he blew the whistle, I thought that was for the contact by Gamble on Nicarima. To compound things, Kafusi is here, comes down on the back of the neck and the head there of Lachlan Fitzgibbon. And the Knights now 2 minutes away from hanging on for a vital 2 premiership points. An eventful afternoon for that man, Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Sin bin. Dolphins scored 3 tries while he was missing. He's been good in the second half. Now Gamble, as we tick down inside 2 minutes. Might be the 2-minute warning for the Dolphins in lots of ways. Bradman Best from 45 metres out. Taps it. Boy, isn't he breathing a sigh of relief, having made the mistake that put them under pressure. Gave the Dolphins that chance from the scrum. It's Jones here, almost at the 30. A repeat set. They could just about wind the clock down all the way to 000. Fitzgibbon playing it. Crossland, Hastings, Safety first, set of 6. Thompson goes inside the 20. What is the play? Do they risk a kick or do they run it on the last? Hastings forfeits Gibbon, gives it to Best. He loses it. Nicarima has it, and the Knights don't get to the last tackle.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they'll have a set to play here too, the Dolphins. Will they try their hand in their own half here?
60 seconds. That's all that remains, Blocker, as the Dolphins work it from inside their 20. They have to score. If they do score, they'll snatch it at the death. Adam O'Brien, he needs more than antacid at the moment. He might need a sedative. Here's Milford. Comes across to Katoa. Flat pass there to Lemu Elu. Play on is the call. Comes back to the right-hand side. Wallace is there. Kafusi. Tafare. All the big boys! And Tafare puts it down.
Gee, I think he was thinking about marching upfield. Fatigue. Tafare. Right at the back end of the game, the pass at his knees. Would have taken that earlier in the game. That, my friend, will be the ball game.
It wasn't a great ball from Kafusi. Kalen Ponga knows they've escaped here. What a game we've seen. But it's the first of 2 that we'll see in the live doubleheader in Perth. The Knights, they make it 5 on the trot. And at the moment, right now as things stands, they are inside the top 8. What a story they are in this second half of the season. At full time, they've beaten the Dolphins 30 points to 28.